All right, get ready to dive into Remember When by Mary Balogh.
It's a story about second chances and well-hidden passions.
We'll be looking at excerpts from the book itself.
And I think it's going to be a fascinating discussion.
I've already started reading it, and it's really got me hooked.
Yeah, what I find so interesting about this book is how Balogh manages to weave these big questions about, societal expectations and personal choices, those big life questions, into this, captivating romance story.
Right.
It really makes you think about, what really matters.
Yeah.
Especially as we get older.
Okay, so the story itself takes place in this charming English village called Boscombe.
I love that name.
And our main character, Clarissa, is the Dowager Countess of Stratton.
Okay.
Now, she's a widow.
All right.
And decides to escape to her childhood home, Ravenswood.
Makes sense.
Seeking some peace and quiet.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. She chooses to stay there alone while her family is off in London for the season. What do you make of that?
That's a bold move for a woman of her standing, especially in those times.
Yeah.
I mean, it really suggests this longing for independence.
Okay.
A need to break free from, those societal expectations that often kind of dictate a woman's life, even after her husband's passing.
Absolutely. It really raises questions about the choices we make,
the
roles we play, and the courage it takes to redefine our lives.
Absolutely. And then we have Matthew.
Oh, yes, Matthew.
The village carpenter who becomes intertwined with Clarissa's life.
Okay.
But he's not just a simple carpenter. There's these hints of a past. He's trying to outrun whispers of an aristocratic background.
Interesting.
That he seems to have abandoned.
Okay, so there's always something intriguing about a character with a hidden past.
Always.
What pulled him to this quiet life in Boscombe?
Well, he's a man of many layers.
I like it.
He's incredibly talented, especially with wood carving. It seems that a pivotal moment in Rome years ago led him to discover this artistic passion.
Interesting.
And now it brings him solace and purpose.
Okay, so we have Rome, we have art, a hidden past.
Right.
This already seems like more than just a simple romance.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like these two characters are about to embark on journeys of self-discovery.
Absolutely.
And maybe even find a connection that defies societal norms along the way.
Precisely. And the way they reconnect is so beautifully written. They share these long walks through the countryside. These conversations that span decades.
Wow.
Moments of genuine connection that just draw you in as a reader. There's even this archery scene where the dynamic between them kind of subtly shifts.
Really? Archery, you say? That's quite a visual.
It is.
Is he, showing off his skills?
I think so.
Trying to impress her?
Maybe.
Or is it more about Clarissa seeing him in a new light?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
She's recognizing a strength and passion in him. Yeah.
That she maybe hadn't noticed before.
I like it.
It's a pivotal scene, that's for sure.
Okay, I'm very intrigued now.
And I think it will stay with the reader.
But we know it can't be all sunshine and roses.
Of course not.
What kind of conflict starts brewing as their connection deepens?
Well, imagine the whispers that start circulating in a small village when a widowed countess starts spending time with a carpenter. Societal disapproval rears its ugly head.
Yeah.
And Clarissa is forced to confront those expectations head on.
Right.
She has to decide what matters more, conforming to societal norms or following her heart.
That age-old dilemma, duty versus desire.
Exactly.
I'm already feeling the tension.
I know, right?
And I bet her family has something to say about this, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, boy.
Her son, Owen, arrives.
Oh, okay.
And he's not exactly thrilled
Makes sense.
about his mother's newfound connection.
Yeah.
He's fiercely protective.
I bet.
And it adds a whole other layer of complexity to the situation. Yeah. Right. It's like those ripples that spread outwards when someone makes a bold choice. But family isn't always a united front.
Right?
Do any of the other family members surprise us?
Yes.
With their reactions?
There are definitely some unexpected turns when it comes to the family dynamics.
Ooh, I like it.
Clarissa's eldest son, Devlin, makes a decision that no one sees coming.
All right.
A decision that shows a surprising depth of understanding and acceptance.
That's interesting.
It hints at the possibility of growth and evolution within families.
Okay.
Even when faced with unconventional choices.
So, we've got Clarissa yearning for independence.
Yes.
Matthew harboring a secret past, a spark rekindled, societal pressures mounting, and family dynamics shifting.
It is.
It sounds like a tangled web of emotions and choices.
It is, and that's just the beginning.
Wow.
What I find fascinating is that this book doesn't shy away from the complexities of life.
Right.
It explores the messiness of relationships, the weight of societal expectations, and the courage it takes to embrace what truly makes us happy, even if it means defying the norms.
Yeah, this is already shaping up to be quite a deep dive into the human experience.
I think so.
And I'm hooked.
I'm glad.
What else can you tease us with without giving too much away?
Well, let's just say that Matthew's past isn't what it seems.
Oh, okay.
There's a story of love and loss that adds a whole other dimension to his character and his connection with Clarissa.
Right.
It makes you wonder, are they simply seeking solace in each other? Mm-hmm. Or is there something more profound drawing them together?
Oh, now I need to know more.
I know, right?
We'll have to pick this up in part 2.
Definitely. As we go deeper into Remember When, I'm struck by how Balogh portrays those like complex relationships, not just romantic ones, but, you know, the bonds between mothers and sons, the strength of friendships, you know, those connections that really shape us.
Yeah, like we were just talking about Clarissa's sons.
Yeah.
And their reactions to her connection with Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
Owen, being the protective one, is initially, like, skeptical.
Right.
But then there's Ben.
Yes, Ben.
Who seems surprisingly supportive of his mother's happiness.
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ben just seems to have this kind of innate understanding of his mother's needs, and he recognizes that genuine affection between her and Matthew. He sees Matthew's talent, his kind heart, and maybe even senses that his mother is finally, like, rediscovering a part of herself that she had long buried.
And what about Devlin, the eldest?
Devlin.
His transformation is really something.
It is?
We initially kind of assume that he'll be the most resistant to his mother's unconventional choices.
Yeah.
But then he totally flips the script.
He does.
And becomes her biggest advocate.
You know, Devlin's change of heart is a testament to the power of growth and understanding within families.
It suggests that even like deeply ingrained beliefs can evolve when faced with genuine love and respect for individual choices.
I love that he just sees his mother as a woman with her own desires and dreams, not just as like the Dowager Countess bound by societal expectations.
Right.
But speaking of defying expectations, let's circle back to Matthew's past.
Right.
We know he was married before.
Yes.
But it sounds like it wasn't a happy union.
It wasn't.
Can you shed some light on that without giving too much away?
Sure. His wife, Poppy, passed away shortly after they were married.
Oh, wow.
Along with their newborn daughter.
Oh, no.
It was a devastating loss for Matthew.
Yeah.
And understandably colored his views on love and relationships.
Okay. So his hesitancy to fully embrace his feelings for Clarissa.
Yes.
Makes sense.
It does.
He's carrying the weight of grief.
Yeah.
And possibly some unresolved feelings from that past relationship.
Yeah, and it's not just about the grief.
The book hints that his marriage to Poppy wasn't born out of love,
right,
but rather a sense of obligation.
Okay.
Maybe even an attempt to escape the pain of a past love.
Ooh, a past love.
Yes.
Could that be Clarissa?
Maybe.
Were they connected in their youth?
Well, that's a question that kept me turning the pages. There are these subtle hints,
Okay.
these like fleeting memories that suggest a deep connection between them in their younger years, a connection that was perhaps thwarted by societal barriers and, you know, life's just unforeseen circumstances.
So are we talking second chance romance here?
Potentially.
Are Clarissa and Matthew destined to find their happily ever after decades after their paths first crossed?
You know, I don't want to spoil the journey for you.
Fair enough.
But Remember When beautifully explores the, you know, complexities of love loss and the enduring power of connection.
Okay.
It reminds us that sometimes life leads us back to where we're meant to be,
right,
even if it takes a few detours along the way.
I like that this is all so intriguing.
I think so.
I'm eager to see how Matthew's past unfolds.
Yeah.
And how it shapes his present.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like he's gone through quite a transformation.
Yes.
From rebellious youth to grieving widower to the man we see now.
It's not a straightforward transformation either.
Right.
We see him kind of battling inner demons, confronting past regrets, and ultimately finding a sense of peace and purpose in his life as a carpenter and artist.
I love that.
You know, there's a depth to him that unfolds gradually,
Yeah.
and it's captivating to witness.
And what about Clarissa?
Yes.
What does her journey of self-discovery look like?
Well, Clarissa's journey is about breaking free from the constraints of her title.
Right.
Those societal expectations.
Yeah.
She spent years fulfilling her roles as wife, mother, and countess.
Right.
And now she's like reclaiming her agency.
Good for her.
And defining happiness on her own terms.
It's inspiring to see a woman of her age and stature.
I agree.
Challenge the norms and prioritize her own well-being.
I think so, too.
Don't you think?
Absolutely. And it's not just about her personal fulfillment either. It's about the ripple effect her choices have on those around her. Yeah. She inspires her sons to reevaluate their own lives and embrace the possibility of change and growth.
You mentioned earlier that Remember When also highlights the importance of friendships.
It does.
How does that play out?
Yeah.
Beyond Clarissa and Matthew's connection?
We see it beautifully through her relationships with her friends.
Okay.
Prudence Wexford and Lady Hartington.
Right.
These women offer her, unwavering support, understanding, and a sense of belonging, a community where she can be herself without judgment.
It's a reminder that we all need that kind of support system.
We do.
Those friends who celebrate our joys and offer solace in times of need.
Exactly. And it's not just about having someone to lean on.
Right.
It's about those friendships that challenge us,
Yeah.
offer different perspectives, and ultimately help us grow into the best versions of ourselves.
Okay, so we've got compelling relationships, personal growth, and a touch of mystery.
Yeah.
But there's one more element I want to touch on, the setting.
Oh, yes. The setting.
Boscombe seems like more than just a backdrop.
It is.
To this story.
You're right. Boscombe is almost like a character in itself.
Okay.
The descriptions of the village, the rolling countryside, Ravenswood with its sprawling gardens and hidden pathways, they all contribute to this atmosphere of tranquility and beauty.
It sounds so peaceful.
It does.
A stark contrast to the bustling social scene of London.
Yes, very much so.
It sounds like the perfect escape for Clarissa.
It is.
A place where she can shed the weight of her title and just be herself.
Yeah, and it's not just about escaping the city. It's about finding a sense of belonging, a connection to nature, a slower pace of life.
Yeah.
Boscombe embodies the idea that happiness can be found in the simplest of things, in the beauty of everyday moments.
So we've got this captivating romance, intriguing characters.
Yes.
With rich backstories. A beautiful and evocative setting.
Yes.
And themes that resonate with all of us.
I think so.
What's not to love about Remember When?
Right. It's a story that weaves together so many elements in such a compelling way.
Right.
It offers something for everyone: romance, family, drama, self-discovery, and even a touch of historical intrigue.
Well, listeners,
yes,
we've only scratched the surface in this deep dive.
Yeah.
There's so much more to uncover.
There is.
In part 3, we'll delve into the resolution of the story.
Okay.
The challenges and triumphs Clarissa and Matthew face as they navigate their new life together.
Okay.
So we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Remember When.
Yes, we are.
We've talked about, Clarissa and Matthew's rekindled connection, their individual journeys, and all the hurdles they've faced.
Right.
Now for the big question.
Yes.
What about their happily ever after?
Well,
Is it smooth sailing once they say, I do?
Well, remember, this is a Mary Balogh novel.
Sure.
So there's always a little bit more to the story.
Okay.
Even after the wedding bells have faded.
Right.
The wedding itself is beautiful.
Okay.
It's full of joy and these really heartfelt moments. But life, as we know, isn't always a fairy tale.
True.
Clarissa and Matthew still have challenges to overcome.
Makes sense.
As they kind of build their new life together.
Okay. So what kind of challenges are we talking? Are we talking more societal disapproval? Or perhaps some family drama resurfacing?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I think there's definitely some lingering judgment from, those who can't quite grasp the idea
of a countess choosing to, build a life with a village carpenter.
Right.
But the real challenges, I think, come from within.
Ooh.
Both Clarissa and Matthew have past wounds to heal.
Yeah.
And learning to trust each other fully to be vulnerable again after years of, having these guarded hearts.
Yeah.
It takes time.
It does. That's so true. They've both experienced loss and disappointment.
Yeah.
Building a lasting connection takes more than just love.
It does.
It takes trust and a willingness to face those past hurts together.
Absolutely. And remember, Matthew has this history of running from commitment responsibility.
Yeah.
So for him, settling down with Clarissa, embracing this new life with her, requires a huge leap of faith.
Absolutely.
It's a testament to how deeply he cares for her, how much he wants this to work.
And for Clarissa, it's about letting go of those ingrained expectations and embracing her own happiness, which, let's be honest, can be kind of terrifying for someone who's lived her life according to societal rules.
For sure.
It's almost like they're both learning to love and be loved in a way they've never experienced before.
I think so.
Which is beautiful, but also challenging.
Very much so.
So how does it all unfold?
Well,
do they manage to overcome these challenges and find that happiness that they're looking for?
Well, I won't spoil the ending for you, but what I appreciate about Balogh's writing is that she doesn't shy away from the realities of relationships.
Right.
You know, there are moments of doubt, disagreements, even tension as they adjust to their new life together.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's their commitment to each other, their willingness to work through those challenges instead of running away.
Yeah.
That's what makes their story so compelling and ultimately so hopeful.
It's not a fairy tale ending where everything magically falls into place.
Exactly.
Which makes it more relatable and believable.
I think so.
They're not perfect, but they're perfect for each other.
Right. And there's this beautiful symbolism woven into their journey.
Oh, I like it.
Remember that gesture where Matthew carries Clarissa over the threshold of their cottage?
Oh, yes.
It was such a sweet, romantic gesture.
It was.
But it's more than just a romantic act.
Okay.
It symbolizes a fresh start, a new beginning.
Right.
Where, you know, they're leaving the past behind and building a future together.
Yeah.
It's a powerful image of their commitment to creating a world that's truly their own.
I love that it's like they're creating this haven.
Yeah.
Where, you know, societal expectations, the weight of their pasts, no longer dictate their happiness.
Yeah, and the way Balogh describes their life together, you know, gardening side by side, walking hand in hand along the riverbank, sharing those quiet moments of intimacy and laughter.
I love that.
It paints this vivid picture of contentment and shared joy.
It makes you want to escape to the English countryside.
I know, right?
And find your own little cottage.
It does.
So just to circle back to our original question.
Yes.
Did Clarissa and Matthew get their happily ever after?
You know, I think it's safe to say that Remember When offers a deeply satisfying and hopeful ending.
Good.
It's not a fairy tale.
Right.
But it's a love story that reminds us that second chances are possible.
Oh.
That happiness can be found at any age.
Yeah.
And that sometimes the most unconventional paths lead to the most fulfilling destinations.
This deep dive has been such a treat.
I've enjoyed it.
It's left me feeling both reflective and hopeful.
I'm glad.
And I'm adding Remember When to the top of my reading list.
I highly recommend it.
I think I will.
It's a story that will stay with you long after you've turned that last page.
Well, listeners, we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into Remember When.
Yes. Thank you for joining us.
We've explored second chances, the courage to defy expectations, and the complexities of love and family.
Absolutely.
Now it's your turn. Pick up a copy of Remember When and discover the magic for yourself.
And remember, it's never too late to embrace love, rediscover yourself, and create a life that truly reflects who you are.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.